Okay, okay, okay. Hey YouTube, I'm back. Gonna look at some more games and probably make some bets. We had another losing day, so really can't catch a break out here. I'm pretty sad, but it's alright. We ended up only pretty much going down by 1 unit after picking some terrible games, so we'll go over them real quick and get on to the new ones. Kentucky didn't cover. That was the first game of the day. Hmm, I kind of expected this, honestly. I don't know why I was on this. Like, I really wasn't getting a number that was covering for them, but I took it anyway, thinking that they would beat up on LSU, and they won by like 5, so it's not like they were super far off, but it didn't really look like they were going to cover at any point in the game, so gonna take that loss, and we'll see what they do tomorrow. I mean, they're the favorite against Missouri. I'm not gonna be on that one, but we'll see how they do. And then next game was SMU. This was a good win. They covered against the Cardinals, who did win, so SMU's out. I don't think they have a shot at all of getting it to the big dance at this point, so they're eliminated. Sad to see it, but at least they covered for us on the way out, so got that W. And then the Morgan State game. This was terrible. They were losing the whole game. They kind of had a chance to win at the end, but then they let it slip into overtime, and that absolutely killed the under. I mean, these teams scored like I think it was like 40 total points in the first half, and then by the end of the second half, I mean, it was up to like 120 total points, but man, they pushed it to OT at 60-60. So just when I thought I was going to catch a break and get a no sweat under, I wasn't even really worried about it. They push it to OT and below the under that I had. So just lost the game, lost the under, just two L's on this one, and these were like my favorites, so great. And then on to BYU, who held it down. I wasn't even really having them covering by quite this number. I think I was getting around the same number, so happy they pulled it off. They looked good again, so they're going to play Houston tomorrow. It's going to be a good game. They're getting 8.5 against Houston tomorrow. So I was thinking about taking BYU against Houston and just like taking the 8.5 points, but I'm not gonna grab them again here while they're hot. Who knows? Like Houston might destroy them for all I know. I honestly highly doubt that though. And it is taking a lot out of me not to take them, so I wouldn't be surprised if like last second tomorrow before the game I hop on BYU. But for now, moving on. Texas did not cover. They lost outright and are eliminated and have no chance at getting to the big dance. So they're done. They got eliminated by Ole Miss horribly. And the last game is Fresno State. They lost, which I was sad they lost and got eliminated because they fought hard and then they ended up losing in the end by like 3 or 4 points. But they were up the whole time. They were like second half they kind of went down and then didn't really recover. So this is what it is. They are eliminated. So those are the games. Let's see what we got for tomorrow. But I have been seeing a lot of these games that I take at the +7.5 cover. It's kind of weird. All right, so the first game is NC State versus Virginia on a neutral. So I would love to fade NC State here and take Virginia off that big win because they had a good shooting game. They played pretty good overall after skidding out at the end of season. So I mean, people are kind of expecting them to go off. It's just that Virginia is a lot better. I just like don't really have them covering this number in many of the samples. So looking at them both on the road, okay, yeah, they're like Virginia is 5 points better. Looking at the trailing few games, yeah, Virginia's 8 points better because NC State was playing terrible, but looking at the other samples, they're only like 3 to 4 points better. So I could see this being a close game somehow. even though I don't really want to believe that. So, yeah, I don't think I'm gonna hop in on it as bad as I want to fade them off that. I just do it, but it just like bothers me that I'm really not getting Virginia cover. Like if I had Virginia like maybe between like 3.5 and 7, I would grab this, but the samples just aren't really saying that they'll cover, so I'll probably just I'm not good at betting NC State games, so I think I'll stay off of this one. Next game is Ohio State versus Iowa. I have this as like a straight up pick 'em. Like the only issue is for me is that Iowa like is I mean Ohio State isn't really playing good on the road. But besides that, I mean Ohio State getting points when they're playing just as good or not if not better in conference is intriguing because Ohio State has been playing way better in the final stretch of the season versus a harder sample of teams. They are 5 points better than Iowa in that sample. And like, I don't think Iowa is that good. They were just barely able to. I mean, they beat Maryland by 10, but they were down by like 10 at one point. Maybe not that much, but they were down versus Maryland. So they kind of fought their way back because Maryland just chokes. But I like Ohio State here. I don't know if I could really pull the trigger just because of how bad they've been playing on the road, just losing by 5 points on the road consistently, but they're winning in all their other samples, so and like I don't really I mean Iowa's winning too, but it really is a pick 'em, so I wouldn't mind like if I wish it was like plus 2.5 because I would jump on it, but at at this point, I don't know that I would take Ohio State, even though I like them a lot. I think Iowa's not that good. Texas Tech versus Iowa State. So I like Iowa State here a lot, especially after their dominant performance today, but it's just like, because like I have them winning by about this number. I have them between basically 275 and 5.5 in the estimate here. So I like that being that these samples obviously include Toppin. So you're taking out Texas Tech's best player, and the fact that like they've been playing good without him makes me think it's time to fade them because they had a few couple games that they played well without him. But like if you're looking at recent games, I mean Iowa is a lot better. Even while they're like playing okay. I mean they've taken a dip, but it's like hard not to take Iowa here after what they just did. It's just too unpredictable what Texas Tech is gonna do. So, dang, I have like pretty heavy leans in these in all of these games, but I'm just like scared. I think I might just have to spray and pray on all of them. We'll see. Let's see what else we got, but I do like all those. All right, next game, Missouri, Kentucky. Not touching it. I just don't trust Kentucky. I said that yeah, last game was kind of their proving game, and they didn't really look great. So I'm gonna wait and watch this one and see how they do. But I feel like they could end up getting eliminated tomorrow. We'll see. But I'm not. I don't think Missouri is that good. I think Kentucky's definitely better. I think. Yeah, but I can't trust them just because of how bad they play on the road and how unimpressive they were today. Next game, Bowling Green, Toledo. Like I'm looking at a couple money lines, so I put this one in here. Like I like Toledo on the money line versus Bowling Green. I mean, Bowling Green is like pretty bad, and like in conference, they're just like consistently worse by 1 to 4 points versus good teams. They're 1.5 to 3 points worse. Like looking at both their away samples, okay, they're kind of even, but everywhere else it's like okay so so you're telling me just like to the thing that's dragging this number down and making it look like I guess the line should be shorter than 2.5 is the earlier non-conference play. So I like Toledo money line here, and I like to fade Bowling Green off of what they've been up to. I don't know if I'll really get there, but I think Toledo was like, Toledo hung tight with Miami of Ohio. I mean, they have two more conference wins, which I think is pretty good. Bowling Green off two wins. Love to fade that. Let's see what Toledo just did. Yeah, Toledo not off anything crazy, off a big win, honestly, but one win, I think that's cool with me. A big win to Buffalo last game of the season after holding it close with Miami of Ohio. Yeah, I just think this is the better team. They just won more consistently in conference. They took a L to them recently by 10 points, which I kind of like for some reason. So, hmm. Yeah, I think I'm gonna take Toledo money line if I can still get it after this. So I'm looking into that. All right. Wisconsin versus Washington. I like Wisconsin to destroy this team, but again, it's just like I'm not having them covering this number in the samples I'm looking at, so I'm not going to be able to touch this one. But definitely heavy lean towards Wisconsin. I think they're actually a decent team, and I don't think Washington is that good. So numbers aren't really saying that, but so I'm not going to touch it, but we'll see what happens. Next game, UNLV versus Utah State. So this one was kind of tough for me because I would love to fade UNLV off the run they're having because I think Utah State is actually good. And Utah State has the advantage in every category, but it's just like I'm getting them winning by like 4 to 8. They're laying 6.5. They lost to this team a couple times, which is crazy, but looking at them versus decent teams, UNLV is losing by almost this number to worse teams. So as soon as it like you start getting to teams that are ranked under 100 Ken Palm, like you look at teams that are statistically better than UNLV, they kind of just don't do good versus them. I mean, overall, you have Utah State with a 6 to 12 point edge. Okay, that looks great. In the second half of the season, you have a 4.5 to 9 point edge, and then versus good teams, you have a 6 to 12 point edge. So like I think the recent play is just like of is Utah State playing poorly and UNLV playing great is gonna reverse here and Utah State is gonna destroy them. Kind of an aggressive idea here, but we're all the way down here. Yeah, I skipped a bunch of games that I just like didn't like. I just don't like anything lately. Let's see though. So Utah State is number one in the conference off of this run they went on, but they skid out like losing to Nevada and San Diego State and then losing horribly to UNLV. Like, oof, that's crazy to see. So I think that's why a lot of people are on UNLV, but then they came out and beat New Mexico, who is like a formidable team in this conference. It's just like they just lost to UNLV really tough twice. So it's like UNLV, on the other hand, is just on a run, winning the last three of four. So it's like, yeah, I can't see them keeping this up at all. Like they're due to go on a little skid out here. I don't think they can keep this up. And Utah State, whatever, they get their reputation for only being good at home, I guess, but they have a ton of good road wins too, and yeah, I think they do a good job here. Interestingly enough, I went ahead and So I actually updated this sample a little bit and I added neutral games to this. And it like actually made Utah State look a lot better when we added in the neutral games, which is kind of weird. But I guess these teams had a lot of neutral games. Let me pull over the updated thing. I should have put it in here, but I'm just ruining the video like always. Let's see. No, I gotta just get the snipping to allow for this. So when I look at them like this, when I added the neutral games into all of them that come after this, so those ones should be all updated. But this one, I mean, you're adding them in, and now I'm getting a 4.5 to 9 point edge overall. So like, yeah, I think Utah State is gonna crush them. It is tough taking these big spreads in these conference games. Like it is tough to lay these numbers, but I honestly like it. I think that they snap back from their recent like low performance, and UNLV is just gonna revert back to being not that good. I mean, so I like Utah State. I don't know if I'm gonna pull the trigger on this one, but I probably will. I probably will. All right, let's keep rolling. Next game, South Carolina State versus Norfolk State. So I like Norfolk State here. Let me see. Yeah, I skipped past the Nevada Grand Canyon game because that's just such a pick 'em. All right, yeah. So this game, I like Norfolk State. Like South Carolina has been playing kind of good recently, and like I think it's a complete fluke. Whereas I think Norfolk State has had like a more consistent run and just has looked better. Like South Carolina did has done better since just like bad teams. Like you could see here, it looks like both of these teams are like rallying, but I mean, they're just kind of both facing a lot worse teams. So, as you could see, as Norfolk State got into the easier part of their schedule, they started dominating the teams, whereas South Carolina State is still just not doing much better. Like they're still losing by 5 points on average. So, in conference play, like recent conference play, I do have Norfolk State clearing this number, and just like Norfolk State, just looking at the broader samples is a lot better too. So it's like you have the second half of the season sample where Norfolk State skid out and played horrible. That is like I think weighing this down a little bit. So like that is concerning that they have that, but just the way they've been playing is pretty hard to ignore, and I'm not sure if they like got a player back or something, but it is crazy. Like they put up a fight against Howard, so and I guess they lost by 8, but it felt like they were putting up a fight, and Howard has been dominating this conference, like dominating every team by 20 points. So to lose by 8, I was impressed. Like their only losses are the 1 and 2 seed. Other than that, yeah, they have a couple early on that they dropped the ball on, but their conference play started. They lost to North Carolina Central and Maryland Eastern Shore to start, and then they went on a run. So I like them off their 2 losses for sure. They whooped South Carolina State multiple times. They won by 7. They won by 20 almost. So I think they have no problem whooping this team at this point. South Carolina State, on the other hand, I mean, yeah, they're only 1 game down in conference, which is impressive, but they're alright. I mean, they have like they have like similar losses, but this conference is just like really terrible. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know if I'll move on this one. I do like that it's 7.5 and it's at the low end of my estimates. I just worry that like this sample on the right here with the ranked teams, okay, we're looking at teams that are ranked a lot better than these guys. And South Carolina State is getting crushed while Norfolk is kind of holding it close. So this is kind of skewing it far out of like the number that the books have. Like if I'm just looking at the first four samples, I'm having them winning by around 7.5. So just looking at these four at the bottom, the overall, the away, and then the conference play, like they're barely covering the number. It's just like that one sample that pushes it out, which again, like, okay, that is weird that South Carolina State just gets absolutely washed by any somewhat good team. Meanwhile, Norfolk State could hang tough with them. So I like them Norfolk State for that reason going into the elimination game. So I'm thinking about this for sure. But South Carolina State has got a couple W's under the belt for me. So I mean, they won back to back against the spread. Norfolk State did just heat up a lot, so I don't know. I like Norfolk State, but I'm not sure if I'll do it. Next game, Louisiana Tech versus Middle Tennessee. This is like another money line game I want to play. Middle Tennessee has just looked so like much better in recent play, and like Louisiana Tech also has is on like a crazy run that I want to just fade right now because they play terrible on the road for the most part. They are losing by double digits to any, like they're losing by double digits on the road to teams like Middle Tennessee. So they're losing second half of the season to teams that are worse. Like I have Middle Tennessee a 1.5 to 3 point favorite. So I mean I kind of lean towards the three when you look at them in any samples outside of the recent ones. And let's just see like what are these? How is Louisiana Tech winning? I mean, both of these teams are on pretty crazy runs. So, South Carolina State off 2 wins is like going to be tough to resist. And Norfolk State off 2 L's. Okay, so they're off 2 W's to Liberty and Delaware, so they won the last 3 of 4. Middle Tennessee, on the other hand. Oh, they're tied in conference. Yeah, Middle Tennessee is on a pretty crazy tear too. I just guessed that they're just putting up more points. I mean, they held Delaware to 38 points. Oh, that's crazy. That's just crazy. What? They held Kennesaw State. Well, they lost, but they still held them to 58. Such weird games. Like, we're fading this team, I think. Middle Tennessee has just like been so consistent. Let's see what happened when they played. They played one time. Oh no, they whooped them at the beginning of conference play. That's how they came out. I was gonna say came out how? Just went on a terrible losing streak. But I'm not gonna let that losing streak stop us here. I know I pretty much said I was gonna stay away from these games, so I probably won't actually take it, but I'd like to I would like to take Middle Tennessee. I think Louisiana Tech is done, but I don't know if I can do this one either. Next game, Ole Miss versus Georgia. I'd like to fade Ole Miss off of their win here. I wouldn't mind doing that. They just had a good game. They don't usually play good off of a win, and Georgia is covering this in every sample. I mean, they are 7 and almost 8 points better overall, 6 points better on the road. They are 6 points better second half of season, 7 points better in the more recent play, and versus any decent teams. I mean, Ole Miss is losing by this number. So, I mean, I don't even see when you look at samples of Georgia playing teams close to Ole Miss. I mean, in the overall sample, they're clearing this number. So, a lot tells me they're going to clear this number. Like, I think the line could move to 6.5 if it didn't already. So, this is like one favorite who I probably will just hop on. Let me see what it's at. Um, Dang, the Middle Tennessee money line's minus 130 for a minus 1.5. Really? Yeah, Georgia's still minus 5.5, but they're minus 115. So I like it. I'm gonna roll with Georgia here. This is like one of the few I'll take. Next game, Arkansas Pine Bluff versus Southern. I kind of see this game as a pick 'em. It's just kind of crazy to me that in conference play, this is a complete pick 'em. Even Arkansas Pine Bluff a little bit better. They both did better moving into the easier part of their schedules, but I mean, second half of the season they're pretty similar versus the tough teams. Okay, Southern's a little bit better, but again, I don't really for teams that are ranked 300 Ken Palm, I don't really take this sample too serious because it's just like, I mean, these are small samples of really good teams. Like any of these teams could go out and get whooped like any of these games, so it could skew the sample. But looking at the away games, okay, like Southern is a lot better in the away games, but again, these are like including early season non-conference play. So, yeah, it's not like like they're taking tough road losses at the beginning of the season that are impacting like their conference tournament spread. So, I don't know about that at all. Like, I think this is a pick 'em, and I like Arkansas Pine Bluff to cover this or possibly win this game. So, I'm leaning towards them. I might grab that. Next game, Southern Utah versus UT Arlington. Uh, this game, I don't know if I would touch this game. Like I lean Southern Utah for sure, just because again, like they're playing perfectly similar in conference. Like both of these teams look similar. So like UT Arlington in the last stretch is playing worse versus a worse sample of teams. So, well, they're playing okay, like a little bit better second half of season. And versus the good teams, they're playing a lot better, which is interesting. Like, yeah, like, okay, Southern Utah going up against good teams is losing by double digits on the road. Yeah, I'm almost starting to lean UT Arlington. But it's just hard because, yeah, like Southern Utah is getting whooped in these samples that stretch back to early season play. But once you start to just look at everything together, second half of the season, there's really no edge for UT Arlington. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I like it just because I barely have them covering the number, but it is concerning seeing how bad Southern Utah has been playing on the road all year. Like, I don't know if they're gonna actually be able to come and hang with with this team at a neutral. So, yeah, I'll probably pass on it. This one's tough. Next game, San Diego State and Colorado State. This is another one that I'm like definitely iffy on. I liked San Diego State when I first saw it, but like I don't really have them covering a number against Colorado State. Colorado State has looked good. I mean, to close out the season, they've both looked pretty good. Hmm. Like, there's really only one sample I have here of San Diego State covering the number. I mean, Colorado State has been playing good on the road. They now have experience on the court, so San Diego State is pulling up kind of cold and just not covering this number. I mean, even looking at San Diego State versus similar teams versus worse teams in the ranked column, they are not covering this number. And there's not really a sample of Colorado State playing teams that are as good as San Diego State, but I mean, they're not losing. They're not losing really in any of the samples besides the away. They both are. So, I hate that I like Colorado State here because San Diego State could easily come in off of like a bit of a lag. Like they haven't been playing that good realistically. They started conference playoff strong with a 7.5 edge in the whole of second half of season, but recent games has really not been as good. I mean, they've been only winning by 4 compared to 7, so that's a whole 3-point drop the second half of it. So I could see them having a little bounce back here, but it's just not enough, like, for me to lace 5.5 with them right here. So I probably won't even be on this one either. All right, let me think about what I'll take. Just scroll through them real quick. So I seriously want to take Virginia here and just fade NC State. I might just do it. They're so annoying. Well, I just think have them barely covering the number. That's the problem. Like I really shouldn't take games like that. Ohio State versus Iowa. I like Ohio State a lot, but I guess I technically do have them covering the number. I wonder what I can get this at. Let's see. Like plus 1.5. Is that really so great? It is pretty good. Let's see. Just the next game. Iowa State. Yeah, I'm not going to touch this game, even though I like Iowa State. I just don't understand what Texas Tech is capable of without Toppin because they did. Oh, Ohio State flipped to the favorite. Yep, that's done. Yeah, I can't really tell. I have this at too much of a pick. I'm gonna get involved at that point. I'm gonna take Virginia. So honestly, I don't care. I'm taking Virginia to come out and destroy NC State. I'm doing it. So my first pick is Virginia. Skipping all these. And then I'm gonna take Toledo money line because they're minus 1.5, but I can get it at minus 115. So I'm gonna take Toledo on the money line here. Not gonna take Wisconsin. I'm gonna take Utah State here. So let's see. So far we got Virginia, Toledo money line, Utah State. Can I lay this with our friends at Norfolk State? I'm not going to, even though I really want to. I'm just not gonna do it. It is kind of, it's definitely intriguing, but I don't think that, you know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna take it. Louisiana Tech, Middle Tennessee. I like Middle Tennessee a lot here. I'm going to like look at their money line and see if maybe I could get like a little bit better, but I'll probably take this on the money line. Georgia, I'll take. I'm ending up with a bunch of favorites. Pine Bluff, I'll grab. And then these two at the back. I am intrigued by them for sure. I definitely am. Like, I'm interested in low-key fading Southern Utah just because of how bad they do versus anywhere near decent teams. But yeah, I don't feel good about them. Okay, so the final picks that we're gonna go with here are Virginia, Toledo money line, Utah State, yeah, Middle Tennessee money line, Georgia, and Pine Bluff. All right, so I think that's what, five? Virginia, one, Toledo, two, money line, Utah State, three, Middle Tennessee, four, Georgia, five, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, six. Okay, so six picks here. That's what I'm gonna take. I honestly do like Norfolk State minus the 7.5 to just destroy this team, but I might actually just pull the trigger on them too. So that'll probably be my seventh pick. Eh, you know what? I might not take this. I'll put in the comments if I take this, but the first six I'm on for sure. So that'll do it. Thank you.